Alright guys, this is on the 91 Firebird, as you know, 3.1 V6. It's just going to be the timing update on it. Don't matter which way I turn the distributor with the cap on, I can have the plugs or the connectors, terminals up underneath the cap facing towards that not the reluctor, but the rotor. I can have the rotor facing towards number one. I can have the number one plug facing the same direction, so it's lined up. It's still nothing. So it's cranking and it's still not starting. Well, doing some reminiscence on everything and scoping everything down, it's going to be in the timing chain. If that timing chain is a tooth off or two teeth off, it's not going to start the vehicle. All right, it's not going to allow it to run. You're just going to sit there and crank, and that's all it's going to do. Don't matter which way you turn the distributor. You can turn the distributor retard, you can turn the distributor to advance, and it's still not going to change much. You may get a little bit better on retarding it, but it's not going to change much. Now, one thing is that how I managed to find this out was I wanted to test something here just to see if there was any slack in the timing chain. And I had my rotor setting at number one cylinder, the cap off, and I turned the crank was at top dead center at 0. I turned it back, watching the rotor. The rotor did not turn. It started turning at between 8 and 10 degrees before top dead center. And once I turned the crank back, the harmonic balancer back to clockwise, I felt that there was slack in that timing chain. It started tightening up around 4 degrees before top dead center. And then I could go ahead and turn it to 0, top dead center. So that is the main culprit, timing chain. And I'm sure that the gears for the timing chain, I'm sure they're probably wore down, and that's why it's slipping a tooth, or could be slipping 2 teeth. So I've done it a couple more times just to make sure that I'm seeing it right and I'm hearing it right. And yes, there is slack in that area. So if you're running into the issue of you can't get your distributor timed right, or you keep messing with your distributor, now in your case, you could be 180 degrees out of time. You know, I mean that happens. But in my case, I don't think I'm 180 degrees out of time. I'm in the ballpark. I'm close. I can tell in the cranking of it, and I can tell that it is trying to start. So I know my distributor is in the ballpark. But that down there, behind the water pump and behind the timing cover, there's some issues going on in that area. So for around roughly about $80 something, I'll just round it up to about $95, because still got to do coolant and all that stuff when I get ready to replace all this stuff. So roughly around $90 something, I'll have this car back running. If the time, like I say, this thing was supposed to have been done 10,000 miles ago, or said was done 10,000 miles ago with the timing chain. I seen the paperwork on it. I know what I seen, but I did not see the timing gears on the paper. So my guess is that he only replaced the timing chain and not the timing gears. And if that's the case, then it's got the original timing gears in it. And over time, just driving what I've drove of it, it just allowed that much more time for it to just completely fail. So I'm going to do it all at once. Get it going, get it running, and hopefully this thing will be on the road soon. I mean, you know, so I mean, there's not really much wrong with it now besides that. Hopefully. So I've replaced the alternator over there too. The little power terminal on the back was loose, but got that all fixed. So yeah, I just kind of want to run that through to you guys. I mean, so it's not in my distributor. Like I said, I've turned it every way possible I knew, just micro turning it and just testing it and trying to get it in time and this and that, and still didn't fix the problem. So it's better than what it was. I can tell by the cranking of it. The cranking's a little bit more stronger, and it does seem to do a little bit better. So I know the other distributor had a lot to do with it being rusty and the reluctor all rusted up. Can't send the proper spark to the plug wires and stuff. So yeah, that's what that's doing. So I mean, so it's going to be in the timing chain. So hopefully I'll have all that done. I won't be making a video on it, on the timing chain part. There's somebody else on YouTube that covers all that. So if you need help, you can go to his page, and I think it's his name's Clowney. I mean, I'm sure y'all probably heard of him, so you can check him out. From what I've seen, what he does on that, you know, he's pretty thorough and goes through everything, so that's a plus. So he don't leave much anything out, so that's a good thing. So that's kind of what I'm working with right now. But I'm trying to remember, well, I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything or anything like that. I don't think I've forgotten anything. I think I just explained pretty much everything to you guys of what's going on here and what it possibly could be, which I know that it's the timing chain. So I mean, I've already tested that theory. I mean, there shouldn't be no slack in it. And like I say, I mean, if that thing's been replaced 10,000 miles ago, there shouldn't be no damn slack in the timing chain. Just, there shouldn't be at all. It should be constant resistance all the way through. So either you turn it back or you turn it forward. You know, there should still be some type of resistance there. It shouldn't be where you turn it to 10 before top dead center and then turn it back, and then you feel the timing chain catch, you know, to cause that resistance. So, but anyway, that's going to be summing it up for right now. I mean, that's the timing update on this car. So just to let y'all know on that. And she's coming along. I mean, you know, some trial and error and having to dub things down and look around, research and all that stuff. I mean, you know, I mean, like I say, I mean, I'm sure the sensor, when I replaced all the sensors and stuff on this car, I'm sure they probably didn't need it. You know, I mean, just kind of throwing parts at, you know, out there, you know, trying to dub something down, because like I said, everything works together. I mean, anything that's computerized or with sensors and stuff, everything works together. If one thing goes wrong, the other sensor's probably not going to work right. So that was my deal back when I started doing all that. Trying to figure out why it wasn't running, trying to figure out why it wasn't running right, doing some research upon research and testing and everything else. And it seemed like some things I replaced seemed to help, some things didn't. So, but all to come to find out, it's actually due with the timing. So, and there ain't no way you can stick a timing light on a non-running engine. There's just no way. Even when you're cranking, there's not enough flash of that timing light to see what you got going on. But anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna get off here for right now. So hopefully a lot of these videos are helping y'all out. I mean, like I say, I mean, if you used to replace a distributor, and before you replace your distributor, I would check the slack in the timing chain first before you even go to replace the distributor. That way you eliminate that area. You know, if you don't have no slack in that timing chain, then more than likely it's probably your distributor gone out and whatever. So that kind of dubs that down. So anyway, see y'all later, guys. All right, bye.